I've recorded this video before already, and then I watched it back, and I recorded it back a few months ago after I had just read the book. I don't think I fully grasped everything in the book. I think I didn't think about everything in the book, and like, I haven't read it again. What I've done is I've read parts of it online again and like looked at other people's views and everything because I wanted a deeper understanding. So yeah, I read this on Kindle a while ago. I read The Poppy War by R F Kuang, and I mean, it definitely was hard hitting. I think she's an incredible author to bring to light so many darker topics. So with that said, there are really dark topics in this book. If you are uncomfortable with that, please scroll. Please know that there are dark topics. There is a trigger warning. These kind of things kind of come up in the book. If you're uncomfortable with that, please just scroll past. I fell under the book talk effect of it's popular, so read it, which I don't think is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's bringing to light lots of books. However, I think because it's popular, you rush to read it and you don't always grasp everything that's being said. The Poppy War is, I think, a really good version of that because it's a fantastic book that brings to light lots of things in society and lots of things in history, and I think not taking the time to actually understand that and not taking the time to actually, think about it is wrong. So I had to take time to actually think about what it was that I had read. The first thing I think that it deals with is the classism act, the kind of classism, and just because someone is from a lower class, they're treated differently, which has been seen throughout societies throughout all the history and is still seen in many places today. And I think it does a really good job of highlighting that, you come from a poorer background, so you don't get the same chances as people from places with rich people, rich classes, higher up classes, which you see with how Rin comes from a really poor part, that it deals with lots of drugs and the drug trade when it's illegal, and how she has to almost bribe her teacher to help her with the kaiju. If I mispronounce something, please correct me. I have tried to look up some of the pronunciations. Some of them came up, some of them didn't, so I might get something wrong. Please correct me. And how she does get in, but then she gets to Synagard, and it's not this. They still treat her like this farmer girl or this poor girl because she is compared to them, and they are all from these elite families, and she has to really prove herself, and you see that progression through the time, but you see that she's never, I don't think, fully accepted by many people there. Obviously by her tutor, her mentor. He works really hard with her, and then they obviously go their separate ways due to the war, and they don't agree on everything. There will be spoilers, sorry. Yeah, there is this war, and I think Kwong has done such a good job at highlighting history as well. I live in Korea. They have a history with Japan, where Japan occupied Korea and did horribly brutal things to the people and almost erased Korean identity by getting rid of the language for a long time and burning down historical and cultural places, getting rid of the monarchy, all of these things. And Kwong highlights the Sino-Japanese war and the war crimes committed then by the Japanese. And chapter 21 really highlights this. This is I think if you've seen stuff about Poppy War and they're like, this chapter is, and you're like, yeah, it's chapter 21. Yeah, you come to join me. You're going to be my emotional support while I talk about this. Thank you. I was on the Seoul subway reading chapter 21, And I think it took my brain a minute to kick into what I was reading, because I was just like, oh, they're walking through one of the towns, one of the sectors, and oh, they see mass mutilation of men, women, and children. They see animal abuse. They see so many different things, and they find one or two survivors. They manage to find some. Their stories, the forced prostitution, the rape. I think it's a credit to Kuang that she wrote it in such. Why? Oh, that she wrote it in such detail. If you're gonna leave. That she wrote it in such detail, and she brought to light the crimes that were committed against the Chinese people in history and in the book, to the people of the city, to the people of this area, in the synagogue. And it later goes on to talk about experimentation and how the Spiralees basically had a genocide against them, how they were almost wiped out, and this anger that is still there by the remaining Spiralees. Again, I'm sorry if I've mispronounced this. And how there were experiments done on them, forceful experiments, which relates back to kind of, again, Japanese history and Unit 731 and all of this. And I think it's eye-opening, I think, because I think it's an interesting way to bring in history and bring in a history lesson whilst including it into this universe that Kuang has created. I think she's incredibly intelligent to do this. I've started watching like interviews with her in them, and I think she's so, the way she speaks and the way she talks, she is incredible. Like, I just love her passion, and I love that she's like, oh, even like these people don't know how to pronounce things. And there's arguments about how to pronounce it, and I really like her. I need to watch more stuff with her in it. I need to watch more interviews. But I think The Poppy War is an incredible book. And I didn't do a good service. I didn't do it a good service the first time I talked about it. I do need, of course, it's me. I haven't finished the series. I have only read the first book. I need to read, obviously, Dragon Republic and Burning God. Those are the next two in the series, and I do hope to read them soon. So let me know what you thought about the book, if you've read it or if you've thought about reading it. Let me know if you would read it or what's stopping you, because I understand that sometimes books that deal with these kind of topics are very different and harder. So please recommend me other books too that are similar, or other books that you're just reading and you enjoy reading. Talk to you soon.